I had some questions lately about the amount of slag that comes out of your machine when you're doing a job. There's some machines out there that you're going to get an inch or two of slag every time you pour, no matter what the situation is. If you're on flat ground or angled or sideways, it always seems like it's the same. Now, you're always going to run into situations where no matter what kind of machine you got and what kind of things you have on there to prevent slag, it's going to happen on uneven ground. If you have to raise and lower your tires when you're coming over a crest, and you experienced curbers know what I'm talking about. But overall, the type of slag that should be coming out of the machine, it should be very minimal. There isn't any machine or any type of equipment that's going to totally eliminate slag, and there's a company out there that says they have no slag whatsoever. That's impossible. If they ever curb, then they know that that's not a correct statement. So I'm going to put the GoPro on the side of the machine. We're going to run a mix out, a couple mixes, so you can see. Now, there's going to be some areas where there might be a little bit more slag if we have a little dip or an uneven ground, but for the most part, there should be very little slag coming out. So when you're done, you can just take a shovel and run it along there. You shouldn't have to get on your hands and knees and use a trowel and pull all that back and whatever else, because there's so much slag left. So we're going to go ahead and give that a try this morning. Just so you think I'm not just picking and choosing spots. Okay, there's a full mix with a, obviously on grass, there's hardly anything left. Okay, now I got a little bit of excess right there because I had a little bit of a dip. Other than that, it's clean. Now, what can you do to prevent slag or to reduce it? Basically, a lot of the machines that are out there, they don't have anything that contains the track and trolley underneath. So it's wide open in the back. Borderlines, undercarriages, a long time ago used to be the same thing. They used to be open in the back. They come to a point, a square basically. So you had to make sure you had your machine high enough so that point didn't dig into the ground and cause a blowout. Now the other issue is too, there's nothing to contain that concrete from actually spilling out the sides. So what they've done a long time ago, if you can see the undercarriage, they put skids on these undercarriages. And this is a borderline machine, and that skid goes all the way up to the front, down in here right before the mold. So basically any concrete that's in there has a hard time going underneath that skid and out. The only way it can actually come out is basically right at the front of the mold. Now, if you have your machine a little bit too high, or you're going over hill, side angle, like this one here, I was at a side angle on this. To keep the curb level, you got to raise it, and you don't want it sliding down the hill, so I'm spilling more out. Now that's basically caused because of me on purpose. But if you're on flat level ground, you should be able to get that undercarriage as close to the ground as you can and still have that slide over the top, but you can have a minimal amount of concrete coming out the sides.